Hey, Bills Mafia. We know there's only one topic every day. All Bills, all the time. And now Matt Bove and Sal Capaccio are going really deep, talking Bills all year long, because it's always game day in Buffalo.
Well, you wanted a wide receiver, and you're getting a wide receiver. The Buffalo Bills reportedly trading for DJ Moore, the former Chicago Bears wide receiver. So here's what you need to know. Greetings, everybody. A little bit of an emergency podcast situation. Happened to see the news while I was getting ready to go on a run. That got pushed to the side, ran downstairs, and we're going to talk about this for a little bit. Now, my co-host, Sal Capaccio, will be joining us momentarily. He's in Florida for an event, and I think he's on the golf course right now. So we're going to send him the link and see when he can hop on. You know, maybe if he's got a little bit of time walking up the fairway, we can have him join us. But here's what you need to know. DJ Moore, who has been a very, very good wide receiver for I don't want to say for the Bears, but in the NFL for a long time, is now coming to Buffalo. I don't right now know for sure what the compensation is. I can tell you that according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, it appears to be mid-round compensation. That can go a lot of different ways. To me, that means anywhere between like a third-round pick and a fifth-round pick. Obviously, if you're a Bills fan listening to this, you want that to be as little compensation as possible. But I like the DJ Moore addition because, one, I think he immediately becomes the best receiver on the team. Two, I really like the player, and I think his skill set will shine in Buffalo. And three, I don't necessarily think this would stop them from also drafting a wide receiver relatively early in the draft and trying to get younger at the position. Now, the knocks on this move, if you are a Bills fan and you don't like this, it's going to be because last year was DJ Moore's worst season in a while, and he's an expensive player. He just signed an extension a couple years ago for about $25 million a year. Well, you know what? That's a lot for a wide receiver. I shouldn't say that's a lot for a wide receiver, but that's a lot of money, and the Bills don't have a ton of cap space, so this is not cheap as far as what they are paying him. Now, I will be able to tell you this. Now, this is from, I believe, Spot Track. They just put this out there, and I apologize for the lack of train of thought. My work was just calling me because I'm sure they want to talk about DJ Moore. Buffalo can process a full salary conversion on DJ Moore upon acquiring him, lowering his cap hit to $6.75 million in 2026, which would create $17.7 million in cap space. So once again, you're talking about kicking money down the road, and maybe for the Bills, that's something they explore to lower DJ Moore's cap hit this year, and then that gives them more flexibility to go out and make other additions. When I mentioned DJ Moore regressing this year, you can look at that as maybe he's getting older, maybe he's not as good anymore, or you can look at it the way I do. I think DJ Moore was just in a very crowded offense with a lot of mouths to feed, and he just took a little bit of a backseat to some of the younger guys there that had a bit more chemistry with Caleb Williams. They go out, they draft Luther Burden. He's very good. 2 years ago, they drafted Rome Odunze, I believe, with the 9th overall pick. DJ Moore last year was targeted 85 times, 50 catches, 682 yards, 6 touchdowns. Okay, so I'll say that again. 85 targets, 50 catches, 682 yards. But let me go over the last 2 years, the 2 years prior to that. So his first 2 years in Chicago. Year 1 in Chicago, 2023, 136 targets, 96 catches, 1,364 yards and 8 touchdowns. And then in 2024, 140 targets, 98 catches, 966 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So we're talking about a player who has been very productive, almost 100 catches, 2 out of the last 3 seasons, goes over 1,000 yards 4 times in his career up to this point. I think I heard the little pop. I think Sal, hey, emergency podcast, buddy.
Hey, buddy, welcome to Venice, Florida. Beautiful Jacaranda Golf Course. Say hi to my buddy Rocky.
Hi, Rocky.
Rocky's a listener. The first thing he says to me when I pull in today, by the way, Sal, I also do my own laundry.
There you go. Well, sorry, guys. Sorry, Rocky. I'm just deferring to somebody else. What do you think? When you saw the news, what's the initial thought?
I mean, you know, this is a big swing, right? Brandon Beane made a big swing. We've been saying that he would do that. I never thought they'd go after AJ Brown. Matt, do you know the compensation yet? Have we heard that?
No, we haven't heard the compensation. However, Ian Rappaport in his initial post said that it's a mid-round pick going back. So when I hear mid-round pick, I always think somewhere between like a third and a fifth. So, obviously, if you're a Bills fan, you want that to be a fifth, a sixth, whatever it is. But I don't think it's going to be a first-round pick or a second-round pick based off of
Right.
what Rappaport has said. And honestly, I haven't had much time to do digging on it because I immediately came downstairs and started recording.
Plus, I mean, 24 mil, I think the Bills have to take care of, in the first year here. So I think that's part of it. Look, 29 years old, right? He's still in his 20s. On top of that, he's got, he's had a relationship with Joe Brady. He's had over 1,000 yards with him. He's had over 90 catches 3 times in his career. So I love it. I mean, for that perspective, I mean, they're getting a good player. And look what happened in the playoffs last year, that big time catch he made, right? Against the Packers, was it in overtime or at the end of the year? Right. So obviously, you're getting a player here that is a good player. It's going to fit. I'm guessing that's going to mean, Curtis Samuel's out, but we already thought about that, by the way. Got my boys, Mike and Mark here too. They're going to be on the podcast. We got to say hi.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't worry. But Mike here has an actual Dolphins bag. He's a Dolphins fan. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right. And then he got Raiders fan. I got 2 Raiders fans and a Dolphins fan I'm golfing with here. But these are my buddies from down here for many, many years, and we have a great time down here. And
my mom loves the Bills.
His mom loves the Bills. There you go.
My clients love the Bills.
Anyway, the reason I'm telling you that though is I was with them on the course, and then I literally got the text and everything, saw it, and said, "Holy cow! Like the Bills made their move." So yeah.
Well, before you hopped on, this is from Spot Track, so I'll share with you what I said. I think Mike Giannetti posted it. It says, barring Buffalo can process a full salary conversion on DJ Moore upon acquiring him, which would lower his cap hit to $6.75 million in 2026, which would create $17.7 million in salary cap space. So to me, I think for the Bills, obviously the compensation is significant, but I wonder if this is a move that they would try and do to soften the blow this year and also maybe give themselves some more options moving forward.
Yeah, I haven't looked at his base salary bonus stuff right now yet, and option bonus, roster bonus. So yeah, there's definitely a way here maybe that this is even more palatable, right? So I think the compensation matters. The Bills only have 7 picks, I think, total, right? But they only have, they have a few 7th rounders. They don't have a 6th rounder. So I think it's everything except for a 6th and then 2 7ths. So I think that's how it goes. So I don't exactly, they're not going to have as many picks. Maybe they recoup that in some other way. Is there a trade down the line? But obviously they're going to have to give up some picks here. I wonder if it's just for this year, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Do you like the player?
Oh, I've always liked DJ Moore. It's been a fantasy guy of mine a couple of times because I really like him, for sure. I really like DJ Moore. I mean, look, he's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Jamar Chase. Sure. Yeah, these are the top level kind of guys. I've said my favorite idea for the Bills is to take the biggest swing possible. Go make a call on Justin Jefferson. Make a call on Jamar Chase. You never know what a team says. I would think that's too lofty. They wouldn't be able to do that. But I think there's a really, really fine player. And I think, by the way, one of the things I love about him, Matt, he hasn't knocked on wood. He hasn't missed a game in 6 years. He's been available. He's played 17 games each of the last 5 years.
Yeah, my thing is that he does have the ability to stretch the field, which is something that I think this team is desperately needed. I also think, just very simply put, he is the best receiver they have had since Stephon Diggs. I'm not breaking some news to you. DJ Moore is a good player. I know he's not the massive splash that some people wanted, but I kind of put him in the same bucket as a A.J. Brown type addition or some of the other names that were floated out there. I think A.J. Brown is probably a better overall football player than DJ Moore, but I also just think that DJ Moore might have a little more tread on the tires. And I think of it almost, Nate Geary had a good point when I was scrolling on social media. The DJ Moore contract is probably pretty similar to what somebody is going to pay Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is younger and probably has more upside. But if you didn't think that you were going to be able to necessarily swing that move, this is your way of kind of getting out in front of it and making sure you have a plan in place when you can start talking to free agents literally 3 days from now. I think they have an idea of what this was going to look like, and that's why the move was made now.
Well, the other thing is, so a half hour before this happened, I got a text from a Philly sports radio guy. Asked me, have you heard anything about the Bills and A.J. Brown? Because he believes that A.J. Brown's going to get traded. I said, I just don't think the Bills have the appetite to bring a player like that in because of some of the other things that go along with him, right? You get the compensation, you get that. You don't get any of that with DJ Moore. And I think that, the Stephon Diggs stuff that happened when he was in Buffalo, and now obviously the Patriots are also moving on from Diggs. I just thought that I didn't think that would be a player. Now, maybe, hey, is Mike Evans still an option at free agency? Who knows, right? But they're going to spend a lot of money right here, I think, on DJ Moore in some capacity, however they make that wash. So we'll see how, where it goes right now. So
You
who
have
would
to
have
like go
thought?
tee off.
Go ahead.
You have to like go tee off. Are you waiting to tee off or like hit a golf ball?
Yeah, we're
'Cause
going to go to hole 10 here. So here you go. This is Jacaranda. Hole 10.
I can filibuster if you need me to. Listen,
There you go.
This is very much a breaking news emergency podcast. So we're just kind of throwing our initial thoughts out here. If you got to set the phone down for a couple minutes, that's totally
Who would have
fine.
thought? Who would have thought we'd be talking about the Bills and Sabres making big trades, at the same time, kind of,
Yeah.
it appears to kind of go for it, so to speak, right?
Well, and that's the thing. I think that there has been some pushback on this move for the Bills on social media, at least from my early reaction.
Yeah, I've seen people say very risky for them. I get it. But, you're in a window now where you got to win, man.
Well, that's kind of my thought. It's like you want them. We've criticized them for not being, aggressive enough. And now they're aggressive. And now all of a sudden it's a problem. Like, I understand there's got to be some give and take. Every move that you're going to make, there's going to be some people who like it. There's going to be some people who don't like it. I'm not here to tell you that, like, they just added a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, but they drastically improved their wide receiver room, which is something that I think a lot of people feared they might not take seriously. They didn't last year. Last year, their big wide receiver move was Josh Palmer, and that's what they were hoping was going to work out. This is a substantially bigger move than adding a Josh Palmer. So to me, that is a serious addition for this team.
Do you want to actually do the first time in the history of this podcast have a live tee shot?
I would love that. I can even.
Okay, I'm going to give the phone to my friend Mike.
Yeah.
Mike's going to do this. Mike, you got to hit this though to go the other way. There you go. Yeah. So and you can just that way you can watch. And I'm going to go up there and I'm going to hit this.
I'm smart.
Matt, you can talk and you can see me.
Hey, Matt, see you every day, buddy. Not a big Bills fan, but my friends and family are all Bills, and I'm from up there, and we love Sal.
Well, listen, thank you obviously for watching us. I feel I feel a little bit like Jim Nance right now. It's like,
right.
Sal Capaccio getting ready to be off.
He can see you if you do this. That it reverses, then you can see there. And then when you go to hit me, then you hit that again.
All right,
there you go. There you go.
What is Sal's current score? Sal, what's your current score?
Current score, Sal.
Go.
What's your current score, Sal?
I'm behind.
He's behind me. We're all close.
Sal Capaccio looking to make a back nine push here on the golf course in Florida. He's getting ready to do tee off on the 10th hole. For those of you who did not know, Sal Capaccio, a lefty, so this might look a little janky, but this is just how he swings. Yeah. Getting a couple practice swings in. I need to see a little bit more hip rotation, but that's totally okay.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it's moving
You don't
left.
say, they couldn't see that. I went, yeah.
It's okay.
Did he?
Left. I was too nervous.
I literally, as you swung, I was like, that looks like it's going left. So I'm glad, based off the follow through. Good job. Thank you for doing that.
Buddy.
Listen, go enjoy the rest of your time. I will continue to talk for the next 10 minutes and we'll publish this and we'll go from there.
All right, you got it, buddy. Thanks.
All right, see you, Sal.
See ya.
So once again, obviously we're doing this because the Buffalo Bills have reportedly added DJ Moore. By the time I am done talking, you will probably know what the compensation is, what the Bills are sending to the Chicago Bears to get this deal done. If it's a third-round pick, I think that's probably a little bit more than I would have liked to see them give up, but I won't scoff at it. If it's a fourth-round pick, that feels about right. If it's a fifth-round pick, I feel like the Bills, even with the money they are now committed to giving DJ Moore, still made a smart addition here because I like the player. Like Sal said, fantasy football has changed so much for so many of us that I find myself watching a ton of football. And I just found myself last year watching a lot of the Bears because it felt like there were opportunities to watch them when I was not occupied with the Bills. And DJ Moore, even though he did not have a great statistical season, still felt like he was somebody who they needed to lean on to make plays. Sal brought it up. I want to bring up his playoff numbers from this past year. So this is notable to me. In 2 playoff games, he was targeted 15 times for 11 catches, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'm not saying those are earth-shattering numbers, but we're talking about basically 60 yards a game, 7 targets, and 2 touchdowns in the playoffs against good defenses in big moments. Like in those big moments, they were still looking to him. And I think that is a sign for the Bills of like, hey, this is somebody that they hope they can trust. Sal brought up the availability factor here. DJ Moore has played 17 games every season all the way back to 2020. And that season he missed 2 games. So he has been a player who has been available. So I do think that matters for the Bills, for a team that is looking to try and finally get over the hump. I think they want people who are going to be healthy. I also think too, like I mentioned a little bit ago, I think having a DJ Moore addition, I've said several times on this podcast, I never thought one move was enough for the Bills at wide receiver. I think this doesn't change anything. Like, they could still absolutely draft one in the first round, the second round, whatever it is, because I think they would want a cost-controlled option in that room, knowing what they're paying DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Josh Palmer, at least for the time being. I'm anticipating Curtis Samuel is ultimately released. That's just kind of my hunch at this point, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I like the move. I am not going to say this is a home run for the Buffalo Bills. It's a double, though, and there's nothing wrong with hitting doubles, especially if you can keep stacking some nice, smart decisions from here on out. It's not the big swing that some people wanted to see them make. I just don't ever think it was that realistic that they were going to acquire a Justin Jefferson or that Jalen Waddle was truly going to be available in the division. If he was available in the division, I think the Bills would already have Jalen Waddle on their roster. So I like DJ Moore. I like the move. I think the Bills got a lot better today than they were yesterday. That helps them. That gives them options for the rest of the offseason. And this is just the first domino to fall. So once again, I know it's a little bit of rambling. I know it's a little bit of just like, hey, what's going on? This is how we're reacting to the news. By the time you're watching, listening to this, there's probably new information out there. Sal and I will hook up again sometime in the next couple days, kind of get you a primer. And remember, on Monday, things will really start to happen. That's when the legal tampering period will begin. I believe that happens at noon. Usually within the first 20 to 30 minutes, there's already a couple deals that get announced of like, hey, this team has agreed to sign this player when the new league year starts for this much money. Free agency officially begins on Wednesday at noon. And that is when the Buffalo Bills need to be salary cap compliant. By when it actually might be Wednesday at 4. So it's one of those. One of the days is noon. One of the days is 4. But regardless, we're about to be busy. But the big domino, the first domino to fall, the Bills have reportedly traded for DJ Moore. We'll talk to you guys soon.